back to that. So anyways, let's get started. So as with my live last month, we made 2 cards or completed 2 cards. We're going to be doing a similar thing today. I've gone ahead and prepped. Thank you to those that also prepped. I can't wait. Please tag me. I was so excited to see that you guys tagged me after you shared projects you made using inspiration from the live last month. So please continue to do that. I absolutely love to see your projects. So I have a couple things to share with you today. I know one of you, I can't remember who, forgive me, said that they wanted to see some more background ideas, so we will be doing that today. I also wanted to share a really fun technique of loose coloring. So for those of you that don't have a lot of confidence in your coloring abilities, this is a great way to kind of add just a quick punch of color without having to necessarily pay attention to the line so much, and definitely not with shading. So let's begin with that card first. So I know Chris was asking if how to color the Can Dancers and how many. I am using this card that I made as inspiration when this set was released last year for the project we're going to be making today, which you see kind of laid out over here. So I love this film strip die. I love how bold it is. It's got such a dramatic look. And I felt like it would look really awesome with this technique because as you see here, I have 2 Can Dancers I did not color. I took a lot of time to color her and I liked how she kind of popped, but these just kind of looked like they were the background dancers, if you will, even though I know they were all kind of out there just having a jolly good time together. So I'll set this one aside and we'll explain this project. I'm gonna push all this stuff over. This is the rest of what we are gonna use for our second project. Okay, so again, film strip die. I went ahead and cut that in black. And that's why I try to give you guys a sneak peek at what I'm gonna be using. So if you do wanna craft along, you kind of have a good starting point as well. Okay, so again, used black. I went ahead and did my card base. This one, you see I had more white around the edge. This one, the one for tonight, is going to fit right on there. So it's 3.5 inches tall by 8.5 inches long. Okay, so again, so we're gonna have 7 inches here folded in half to have a 3.5 inch tall top folding slimline card. Okay, so before I attach this die on, hi Gina, happy Friday. If my cat doesn't jump in the way, watch out. She has been known to do that during my lives before, and here she comes. Let's see if she walks through here. She's just north of me. Okay, so before we adhere the film strip framing, if you will, to the card front, we are going to be doing this similar kind of thing, okay? So what I want to do is do some light inking, as you see in the background here. Now, for this card, I did cut it, so you can see, white panels, inked those, and then inset them in. You could definitely do that. But I'm okay if we get some around the edges there. Yeah, here she comes. She's rubbing her face on the camera. Eva, you gotta move. The notorious calico. Thank you, Eva. So you could do this. And since, yeah, see, I see your head now. There's a delay between my actually recording and me being able to see it on the screen. So you could definitely do this where you just die cut the film strip panel out of white card and then do your inking on the panels and then inset them again. But on this card, I'm not gonna be concerned about that. I'm not even gonna mask off this white portion here. You could also do that. Just throw a piece of washi tape, scrap paper over these square pieces here and then just kind of work on inking those panels. So in honor of the cabaret dancers that were very popular in France, I decided to loosely color 3 Can Dancers in the colors of the French flag. Oh, my things keep popping up here. She is a very pretty Kaylee Alyssa, she is. She's a stinker, let me tell you. She wants me to give her water from the kitchen sink because, you know, God forbid a cat actually drink from a water bowl. And by loosely color, I'll lift it up here so you can kind of see better what I'm talking about. Oh, crap. It says I'm having trouble with the video. So I'm still recording here. It doesn't look like there's an issue. I'm not able to see the video any longer on my computer. This happened on my last live. I lost internet connection for my computer. So if you're commenting, I'm very sorry. I'm not sure if it's going to give me updates. So loose coloring, as you see here, there's no shading there. I use like a mid-tone. I'm trying to get it in focus. I try to use a mid-tone, and I don't even go all the way to the edge. You could, but I just used it to color just those colorful pops. And then I used a little bit darker for her underpants and her top, just so they would stand out a little bit, Eva. And then I did the black, or in this case, more of kind of a charcoaly gray for her stockings and just that little top of her hat. So I did that in the blue, the red, and then in this one for the white to represent the white color. Oh my gosh, Eva, sorry about this, guys. I just used a little bit of a very light gray, just so you could still see that shadow. Oh my gosh, she's gonna start biting me soon. Let me remove her from the counter. So to ink up this background, we're going to be using the Flash stencil. And as you see, because this is a Slimline card, yes, Eva, we're gonna just have to keep shifting it. Again, that doesn't hurt my feelings. So one thing you can do is hold it with your finger in the center. Yes, I'm breaking all the rules, guys. You know this is how I craft. The can dancer is gonna be standing right there. All we're really worried about is just the perimeter around her, okay? So just keep that in mind. Pencil and eraser. If you want to have an idea of where you're working here, we can erase the pencil marks later. I'm just gonna put a light pencil mark, as you see here, on either side of our open space. And we know our can dancer is gonna go somewhere right here. Nobody's gonna see that, okay? I don't have to even erase those dots. But this kind of gives us an idea of where we're working. You could also dart the top and the bottom, but I'll keep this here for reference. So I asked you guys to bring some Absinthe colors. So I have, let me see if I can pull them on screen. Hi, Megan. So I'm gonna lay these here, and with my inspiration card, I'm not sure, I might have used a mustard seed, but I think I'll do the lighter squeezed lemonade today on this one. So let me grab my blending brush. And again, this does not have to be perfect. This is just gonna be kind of enough, little bit in the background. Hi, Magali. So let's open this one up. Get that brush in there. You know what, I might actually leave that in there. I can't even see my pencil lines very well through the stencil. But we know this is somewhere in the center, right? And then we're just gonna kind of blend around there. And if you're careful, none of this is even gonna really go where these upper and lower square portions are. I know I'm speaking so properly here for you guys. See, so we're just gonna have a little bit of starring there, just enough twinkle in the background. You could go heavier. You could choose a completely different color. Oh, I know, Gina, this is one of my favorite stencils too. It's got such beautiful star effects there. Oh, Chris, Absinthe is traditionally a green color. And I actually looked up all kinds of cool information about it. So I'll be giving you some history on Absinthe when we're making that card. Of course, I'm a big giant nerd face, if you guys don't know that yet. So that stuff just interests me a whole ton. Hi, Brookie. Okay, so it looks like I'm a little heavier handed on this one, which is fine with me. See, we've got some different, a little darker there, but that's okay. She's in the center. So maybe I'll go lighter on this side to kind of balance that out. And again, you see, I'm just very lightly inking here. Cat is laying on my foot, by the way. I'm just glad she didn't decide to attack me. She does that when she wants my attention. I'm not giving it to her. She hears me talking to somebody else. She's done that when I've been on the phone with my husband. She'll just attack me. So as you see, by by using especially that larger star spot in the center where we knew our dancer was going to be, gave us a place to hold on to. And if you see, we've just lightly inked. You don't see anything here at the top or the bottom. Fun way to do it. Yes, Megan, I love the stencil too. It's such a pretty one. Okay, so now we can mount this on. Now, as I did with this one, it's very subtle, but I wanted there to be more movement. You know, like this was an actual movie strip or film strip that just came flopping out because it's old, right? The can-can dancers were around, what was this? The cabarets in the 19th century, was it? When people would go to those, the saloons, they didn't call them saloons, the cabarets. So I wanted it to kind of have more movement and look. So I intentionally rippled it, and that's what we're gonna do on this one too. So I'm gonna just go over to my counter edge. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see me do that. I'm just gonna kind of roll it along the edge there, kind of like when you're working ribbon or something. I'm gonna go both directions just to kind of loosen up the paper fibers, if you will. See? So, yeah. You guys love to craft like this, right? It's my favorite. Okay, so now that we've warped it up a little bit on purpose, now you see what we're doing here? See how much more fun that looks when you've given it some movement? No way. Chris says, I obviously don't live in the Northeast. I do not. ShopRite has a can-can sale every year. No way. No, I live on the southern coast. Well, the southeastern coast. So I'm gonna open up the new Kindred Stamps liquid adhesive. I want you guys to know I did recommend we call it Gloob because it cracked me up. So I'm gonna call it Gloob, but it really is the Kindred Stamps liquid adhesive. My vote lost. Okay, so I am not gonna try to play around a lot in here. We'll just do some little dots. I hope you guys know by now I love to craft, but I am not a fussy crafter. I think it's more fun to kind of get in there and see where things go. Sometimes I'll have an idea in mind, and then, man, once I start going, I just end up somewhere completely different than I thought I would. I'm sure you guys understand that feeling. Ah, come on. I don't want a gloob drop. So funny, I know. Just Marsha, just say stop it, woman, stop it. Ah, come on. There we go. Hi, Randy. With animated can-can girls. Very nice, Chris. Gina, I said gloob, but bloob would be funny. But I said gloob as in glue tube. That's where my thoughts on gloob came from. But, you know, either way, I won't be picky. So I'm just gonna kind of push this down a little bit. Again, as you see, I want movement. I'm not gonna mush it everywhere. I want to see some rippling. Yes, Eva, I know you are still down there. In this case, where this white peeking through just because we've rippled it, I'm gonna take a black Sharpie and just color that right in. See, I know, Megan. Gloob. But see, isn't that fun? So now we've got some movement there. When you look, you see that shadowing. So I just really like what it does to that. Okay, so now that we've got this done here, we've got loosely colored can-can girls, loosely colored. Very easy here, okay? This is a very not stressful way to color. It's a fun way to kind of add that punch of color there. So loosely colored. Let me grab my snips. Oh, she's about to start attacking me, the cat is. I don't know if you can hear her down there, but she's making the crazy sounds at me. So I'm gonna flip these over. I use these coaster blanks. A fellow crafter started using these, and I read about them on her blog, Tanya Bozier. And these are my new favorite things. They're kind of like an eco-friendly alternative to foam adhesive. So I'm pretty obsessed with them. They're very sturdy. I like that I can cut them whatever the heck shape I want to fit somewhere. I don't have to worry about sticky stickies. Where's my glue? Oh, hi, Tanya. Welcome. Oh, see, thank you, Randy. It's very subtle, but I love the effect of kind of rippling that film strip a bit. I'm glad you guys can understand why I'm doing that. All right. Oh, crap. We're almost 20 minutes down. We're not even done with the first card. You got to tell me to shut up. Okay. I'm not going to add the sentiment on so we can move on to the next card. So French flag colors are blue, white, red, solid stripes. Again, inspiration for this one. And again, I used black on her, so she's not just stamped without any coloring. Putting them on wobblers would be super amazing. So you guys could definitely do that. I'm not on this one, obviously. Okay, so the Can-Can dancers are on there. Very subtle, that flash stencil around them. I did not do greater inking as you see in this one, but I feel like there was more warmth because I fully colored her in. I did not want to detract from that punch of color there on these Can-Can dancers here. And so to finish the card, I will do that off camera, but I will post all of my finished projects, of course. Oops, sorry if I was off a bit. I'm going to be using the same sentiment, yes, you can, and throwing that probably in a similar spot. So somewhere on the card front here. Oh no, Megan, I'm so sorry. Audra, where are you? Let me tag Audra. Audra, if you see part of my head, I greatly apologize. Are we getting more film strip dies in? I'm adding that as a comment. I'm tagging her. Sorry, because remember, all the fancy cool products I'm using, you guys will save if you shop. Is it for 24 hours? But use Live with Marsha as your discount code. So that includes the cabaret, the flash stencil, the film strips. Die is apparently out of stock. I'm very sorry. Moving on. Okay, so now we're going to use Top Hat Cabaret Lady. And I went ahead and started, you know, I like to try to pregame everything. Oh, see, Audra said, yes, it's coming back. So make sure you sign up for notifications when it's restocked, right, Audra? And Megan, hopefully you can get it. Oh, you are going to use Wobbler's flower. Good, good. Yes, I finally found my Wobblers. They went missing on me. Not that that's not easy to do. I got a bajillion things packed in that little space down there. But yes, they would be so much fun on Wobblers. Okay, so let's move on to Tap Hat Girl. So if you notice, I'm using this, oh wow, look at this beautifully stitched black panel here. I don't know if, can you see that beautiful stitching detail? Oh, let me put this behind it. You might be able to see it easier. Well, Kindred Stamps has jumped in the stitch die ball game, if you will. And these will be releasing next week during our release week. Yay! Audra said I could use it tonight on my live, so I'm going to show you what this looks like. The amazing Mindy designed these as she does all of our stencils, not all of our stencils, our dies. So you see we've got some really awesome shapes here. So I am utilizing that today. So I use that larger stitched rectangle and then the 3 nesting stars to cut, obviously, my stars out for the background. This back panel is watercolor paper because I'm going to be using my ink. I'm going to be doing my ink blending here for the Absinthe. You can use whatever paper you have that you can ink blend on. Keep in mind, we are going to little tiny places here. It doesn't have to be, you know, a super seamless blended ink thing. It's going right underneath, okay? And we're covering part of it up. So please don't be hard on yourself. But yes, OMG, these dies are amazing, Alyssa. I used the crap out of them for my my projects that you'll get to see Monday when I start the event tomorrow. So anyways, background panel, whatever you're gonna ink blend on. Front panel in black with my stars. Now, You don't have to do it this way, okay? I'm doing this as a sneak peek at the new die set that's releasing. You could just do it kind of like I did this bookmark. You don't need this black panel over the front. You could just ink blend your Absinthe colors here and throw her on the top with your sentiments. That is perfectly fine. I'm just showing you a different way to do it. Monday's not that far away, Chris. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So for the sake of this, we're going to be popping this. I went ahead and colored her because she takes a little bit longer. If you ever want to see how I color something, please let me know. I know there's tons of coloring things out there. It's lengthy. I don't want to waste your time. But if there's certain things, I almost decided to wait and color the top hat and stuff with you. But I wasn't sure if, I feel like so many people have done the coloring thing, so I don't want to bore you with that. So I'm going to pop her here. What's amazing in this die collection are these, look at these awesome ticket dies. So here's the Cabaret stamp set. You'll notice we have the words love, truth, and beauty. Well, guess what, guys? This tiny ticket die, these words fit inside each of the 3 of those. So I'm not doing them on camera tonight with you, but I am going to stamp each of these 3 words, die cut them out with the tiny ticket, and these are going to be assembled behind my sentiment strip. I'm going to use the Absinthe Makes the Heart Grow Fonder. I'm going to plunk that on here, and then I'm going to tuck these little tickets around there, okay? But we're just going to work on the ink blending of the Absinthe together to kind of finish this up. We will be using this stencil. I love this one, the Pixie Dust. I used that one last month. And then we're going to be using the Harlequin stencil on the black panel. Again, you can do this differently than myself, again, because I'm using our new die set here. So let's do the Absinthe. So Absinthe is really cool. Actually, March 5th is National Absinthe Day because that's when the ban was lifted after Absinthe was banned in the US for, was it 95 years? Almost 100 years. Flowers asking for the coupon code again. That's fine, of course. The coupon code is Live with Marcia. My name, M-A-R-C-I-A, no spaces. I don't feel like it's lower uppercase sensitive or anything. Okay, so let's work on this Absinthe. Now there's different types of Absinthe. You can get, the traditional is Absinthe Vert, or is it Vert Absinthe? The green one, which is what I always think about when I think of Absinthe, you know, because I think of Absinthe all the time. But that was the inspiration for the bookmark on this one. So I wanted to use it again here because I just love those tones. So I am going to start. Oh, good. Chris is saying it has not been case sensitive for other lives. So that's good news. Thank you, Chris, for sharing that. Okay, so let's start working that blend up before I take too much more of your time up. I'm starting with Lucky Clover. Let's get that base of green down. Yes, I am going over the bottom where you're going to see it peeking out around the edge. That is intentional. You could mask that off if you did not want that to see that, but I'm kind of digging the idea. I am using the oxide inks. I love how smoothly they blend. I'm placing this here to kind of get an idea of when I should start moving the color. I wanted to make sure I saw some of the darker green before I started moving my ombre up a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna push that over. I don't think I'm gonna go to Mowed Lawn, but I'm definitely using Twisted Citron. So let's start working that color in here next. Actually, let me move that all the way off. And again, if your inking is blotchy, it's not even gonna matter. You know why? We have 3 peaky holes. It doesn't have to be perfect. And the more you practice, the better you'll get as far as the feel of the brush, how much pressure you need, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm gonna ping pong back to the Lucky Clover. I'm gonna blend more here. And the reason why I'm using the Distress inks, or if you use any other dye-based ink, I do wanna hit it with some water to utilize that water reactivity. So we're going to be able to pull up some of that ink. I mean, it is a drink, so I think that'll look pretty. Okay, now let's start introducing some of that yellow, that squeezed lemonade. Again, I'm going to place this over the top. I want to kind of see where we're looking. See, that's looking good. So I'm actually going to twist it around. Grab my dirty rag. Yes, I do this right on my kitchen counter. Squeezed lemonade. So one thing that's really fascinating about absinthe is, first of all, it has made its place in history just because everybody thought it was a hallucinogenic, and it was just this whole different type of alcoholic drink, which they have since proven is not the case. I did read that they speculate that, I'm going to pull in twisted citron again so I can kind of blend that a little bit better. But they suspect that some of those properties, effects, the hallucinogenic effects, might have been due to adulterants that were added back in the, 19th century to cheaper absinthes, because there is a right way to produce it. It needs to be cold distilled like good quality gin. And then to make it green, it goes through a second maceration process with 3 different herbs. So absinthe apparently tastes like licorice. So anise, wormwood, and fennel are the 3 herbs that would be traditionally found in absinthe. And so the absinthes that were drank, I know, oh, you have all these colors, yay, Chris. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That looks good to me. Now we're gonna hit it with some water, okay? Blot it with my dirty rag. Let me see placement of our splatteries. I'm gonna hit it up here just a little bit more. Now, one thing that's fun to do if you've never tried this, while it's still damp, you can blend back in with some of your color, and it kind of creates this neat muted dotty effect. You should try it sometime. I'm able to do it a little bit here, but if you feel like you over misted, nah, impossible. You can throw ink back over that. Okay, so this is our absinthe background. See? Nearly the same. Thanks, Megan. Let me wipe this off here. But yes, back to absinthe. So back in the day, traditionally, the way it was drank at these cabarets, and you've seen them. I mean, it's like the popular thing you see. It's this kind of steampunky thing, right? Thanks, Gina. So you would have an absinthe glass that you would fill to a certain line. So you would pour that liquor, and it's very high in alcohol, like anywhere from, what was it? I read 95 proof to like 145 proof or something. Very potent stuff. Now I'm gonna just start working on popping this up a little bit with my coaster stuff while I chit chat. Let me see. So traditionally, yes, absinthe, you'd pour it in that fancy little glass, and you've seen that cool, it's like almost like a spatula, but they call it a spoon, I guess. It's this silver, very pretty, ornate looking spoon that you would then lay atop your absinthe glass, and then you would have your water fountain, your absinthe fountain that would be beside it. So in order to assemble your glass, let's pretend this beautiful container of sequins is your absinthe glass, right? So then you would lay your absinthe spoon, the sugar spoon, across the top of your glass. You'd put a brick of sugar on the top, because remember, this stuff is potent, and most people drank it diluted. Put your sugar cube on top, set your glass beneath that water fountain. You would trickle it out until it dissolves that sugar cube, and then you would turn it up until it filled up to whatever the next fill line was. And as the water is being added to the absinthe, if it's legit good absinthe, it starts to create what's called the the louche effect. And the louche effect is when that clear absinthe turns cloudy. And that's what you've seen in some of these pictures and stuff. So I hoped you guys would appreciate it. I thought it was super darn fascinating. And I was reading about it. Again, I'm a big giant nerd, so I do think it's fascinating. So let's fill this in. Oh, yes, Brookie, I can't wait to see what you do with this. Let's see. Oh, good, I'm glad you're enjoying the history talk. Well, you know, I feel like I get more out of what I'm making if I have some background information. So I want you to know, anytime I make any of this stuff for Kindred, I do my homework. I hope you guys know that. If it's something I'm not familiar with, I don't let that stop me. Let's see, I feel like, yeah, and you can rip this stuff too. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice if I don't actually represent it well. Does that make sense? So anyways, I'm gonna work on mounting this up. I'll throw in some of these sequins. These are gonna be on the sale too. This is the cube of rainbow unicorn sequins. Look how many are in here. You could definitely throw some tulle over the front. You know I love tulle shaker cards. You could pop it up further, put acetate there, whatever you have on hand there, make it a shaker card beneath the stars. I'm not gonna do that tonight, but I am gonna use some of these because it had those pretty greenish sequins in here. I was gonna put that within some of the stars and about the card. Oh crap, before I glue that down, I knew I was forgetting something. The Harlequin stencil, good grief. I'm very sorry guys. The Harlequin stencil. I wanted to ink that over this panel because you know how fun inking over black is. We did that last month and you guys seem to really enjoy that. So what I wanted to do was ink not the whole panel, just from the bottom up a bit. And I was gonna use white, but in an effort to kind of just keep the colors I'm using white, screw it. You guys need to grab a white ink. I was gonna use squeezed lemonade, which would look pretty darn close to a white anyways against that dark black. But I want to just work maybe a third of the way up the card, okay? So that being said, I wanna know where my top is. Let's see, so I wanna go somewhere up to about, let me put this here so I don't lose where I wanna go, inking wise, because it's black on black with these counters, okay? So again, my bottom is somewhere down here. And we're gonna use Picket Fence Distress Oxide. Again, whatever white pigment ink, you definitely need a pigment ink. Of course, I don't know if they make a white dye ink actually. But you could even use a modeling paste, a texture paste, anything like that you could kind of smudge up from the bottom. Actually, modeling paste would be amazing because you would get even more texture there, like the floor is literally right there. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the absinthe education. Yeah, and you can buy absinthe in the US now. It was, the ban was lifted in 2007, again on March 5th. So you guys got to make some absinthe cards for National Absinthe Day. But yes, you can buy it, but there's no real regulation on how true it is to how it's supposed to be made. Absinthe originated in Switzerland. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off. So that's what we got. Looks a little smudgy here, so you know what I'm gonna do with that. And I don't like those little pinny points, so I'm just gonna kind of pull in here just a little bit, and that'll kind of cover that up a little bit for me. Again, this is just me being picky. You don't have to do it exactly the way I do it. In fact, I encourage you not to. Use me as inspiration, but I would love to see your take on any of this stuff. Oh, good, Chris. Yeah, it was banned because it had that, why can't I think of any words? It's because it's Friday night, isn't it? but no, it's not bad. And that's how I grew up. I mean, I graduated from high school in 2000, so we knew we couldn't drink it. It was this banned drink, and if we could find it, it would be super cool to drink absinthe, but I totally probably would have drank it wrong. You don't want to drink it straight, but you know, it does not have those properties that were attributed to it. Okay, so now you're seeing how this card is building, right? Looking pretty cool so far. I am gonna take, I gotta use the pixie dust. So she is gonna be standing here, because now we've given her kind of a floor, right? I'm gonna stamp her sentiment. She's going to be standing atop that as well. Remember, again, where did I set the stamp set? I'm gonna be die cutting these tiny tags from the new hallucinogenic, thank you, Brookie, hallucinogenic effects, which have been discredited. I can't remember the chemical compound, Thujone. I did read about this because, again, I'm a big science nerd too. They've proven that it's got such trace amounts, and in the US, it can't have any of that chemical substance in it anyways. So if you drink it here in the US and buy it legally here in the US, any of those properties that potentially could be an issue but really aren't, you're safe. Okay, so sentiment panel here beneath her feet. Absinthe makes the heart grow fonder. I'm die cutting beauty, truth, and love with this tiny little ticket die from the new Card Builder Basics die set that we'll be releasing next Friday on release. That will get tucked around here. I'm gonna throw some sequins on there. So now we're just kind of deciding where we wanna put the pixie dust stencil in the background, because this is, again, one of my favorites. And I'm just kind of laying it out here to kind of get a better idea of where I want these stars to kind of swizzle around, because I do want to see them kind of on both sides of her. So I might twinkle some like this and then kind of shift it, you know? Ooh, maybe we'll just do that then. Or let's flip it around. Yep, there we go. That's what I was looking for, because then I'll get twinkle all around her. Okay. Pick this up. Move this down. Yellow brush. Thujone. There you go. See, thank you, Brookie. I said it wrong the first time, right? I think I did, but I couldn't remember. But yes, they have proven, I think there was a study in 1999 that said, yeah, no, that's not really going to do it. And it's Thujone, I'm probably saying it wrong, is the chemical component that's in wormwood, which is one of those 3 herbal ingredients that are traditional to making absinthe. Hooray. Aren't you so glad you tuned in for my historical commentary? You know what? I am going to blend this all the way down. I wasn't initially. But by golly, I am. I love these ding-dong stars so much. That being said, I'm going to pull a darker yellow because I want it to stand out against that bottom a bit more. I'll show you. So I am using mustard seed after all. Okay, twinkles, twinkles up. Okay, she's gonna stand, and then I'll sign off because this is getting lengthy. And then again, I'll finish and post everything for you. So this will be like this, popped up a little bit. She'll be standing here on her beautiful floor. Sentiment, tickets around, and some sequins for smattering. So I hope you have enjoyed tonight's fun time crafting with me. I appreciate anybody who ever shows up and puts up with all my oddities. I'm so glad you love it, Megan. Thank you, Alyssa. So again, we made this one with very loose kind of spotlight coloring. We twisted up this film strip die to give it way more cool depth and dimension. We did some very simple ink blending, spritzed it to create this beautiful absinthe look. We used, multiple stencils. You know, I like to do that. We used multiple stencils on the front panel of this card. We used the Harlequin and then the pixie dust here. And then we're gonna be throwing in this rainbow unicorn sequence when I complete it. So these are all the things that will be on sale with the code Live with Marsha. So please jump over there if you'd like, buy some goodies, or remember, well, I think there is a time limit on this one. But of course, if you wanted to wait until release, you could do that too. But anyways, let's see. Let me look at these comments before I say goodbye. Oh, thanks, Gina. I'm glad you appreciate it. Let's see, Chris, I learned so much from everyone's lives. Good. I'm so glad that you guys appreciate, because it does take a lot of work. I have to do all this prep work. So we appreciate you guys chiming in and letting us know that you appreciate them. And thank you. Thanks so much. Love the science. Thank you, Barbara, for joining. I didn't even see your name before. I apologize. So yes, thank you. Thank you for your kind comments. I'm glad you enjoyed the research I did ahead of time of absinthe. I think it's super fascinating. Yeah, so I guess that's about it. I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. I hope the weather starts to warm up. And yes, I'll have to, Alyssa, my live next month, I'll have to make sure Audra gets me one that I can talk some more history. I will be sure to bring that for you guys. Thanks, Megan, for joining too. It was so much fun. I love when you guys chit chat with me. So anyways, you guys take care. We can't wait to see you. You know, I'll open up the release event tomorrow afternoonish probably. And so we'll get the ball rolling there. You know, the first sneak peek does not start until Sunday, so don't start asking too early. But we will get peeks out there for you. You know, Audra loves to do all of that. And buckle down, because it's a good release. So anyways, you guys take care. You know we love you. The Kindred family loves all of you guys so much. And please tag me when you post. And I'll make sure to save this video so you guys can rewatch. Anyways, take care. Talk to you later. Bye.